So, you decided you want a no makeup look, but you really don't know how to do it. Don't worry. That's what I'm here for. So the main thing you want to think about with a no makeup look is the steps. It's pretty precise. I've seen pictures of people that they think don't have on makeup, but you can definitely tell to the trained eye that they actually do have on makeup. So basically you're looking for that neutral gray. Basically, you're looking for neutral glam. I got you covered. So I'm going to go step by step from beginning to end and show you how to do neutral glam, no makeup look. Okay? You ready? Let's get started. Your first objective is to do your eyebrows. However you do your eyebrows, starting wrong already. However you like to do your eyebrows is your business. I like a soft eyebrow, so I'm going to take my spoolie and I'm going to comb through my eyebrows, and then I'm going to take the other end of my eyebrow pencil and I'm going to carve out the bottom where the arch is. And then I am going to make an outline for the top and fill that in. Then I'm just going to make some light hair strokes to create the rest of my eyebrow. If you want a more detailed eyebrow lesson, let me know. I'll make a video for you. So over on the other eye, we're going to do the same thing. You make your bottom line first. Make your top line next. But again, you don't go all the way to the front. Connect the line. And then just make hair-like strokes. And fill in where you need to. When you get to the front, just go straight up and down. If that's how your eyebrows grow. Most eyebrows do grow that way. Okay. Once we've got the eyebrows filled in, run your spoolie back through them one more time. Now it's on to the next step. You're then going to grab a concealer that is your skin tone. With this concealer, you're going to grab a Morphe M167 brush, and it's just a flat, stiff brush like this, and clearly mine is dirty, well, used, but you're going to use a flat, stiff brush, and then you're going to clean up your eyebrows. And after you've cleaned them up, you're going to drag the excess product down to your eyelid. I've not added any more. I'm just dragging the excess product down to my eyelid. And the precision, I usually start a little bit before the eyebrow, and I just kind of run it along the bottom to create my natural arch, because you're just cleaning them up. If your eyebrows are not actually arched or cleaned up, and you want to know how to cover those hairs, I have another video for that too. All right, so we're going to go over here and do the same thing. You can make short lines and just continue following the natural arch of your eyebrow or whatever shape you want. Take the excess and drag it down to the eyelid. Okay? All right. So now you've got both eyelids very lightly covered with skin tone concealer. That's one of your first steps in the no makeup look, is to make sure that your eyelids are the same color, because we want it to look like our eyelids are flawless. They're actually the same color. Then you want to grab your Morphe M335 brush, if you have one. And all I'm doing is buffing out where I drag down that concealer. There's nothing on this brush. This brush is normally white, but as you can see, I use mine. And all I'm doing is making sure there's no harsh lines anywhere, making sure the edges are blended. Again, making it look like my eyelids are just naturally this beautiful neutral color. So, once you've done that, the next step is you're going to grab some bronzer. Yes, I said bronzer, not eyeshadow. Grab your favorite bronzer. I'm going to use the Lip Bar. Just Got Paid. This is the bronzer. And I use it a lot, and this is what it looks like. And it's a bronzer and a blush. Whoops. It's a bronzer and a blush, but I'm not using the blush. So I'm going to take my bronzer, and I'm going to take that same Morphe M335 brush. I'm going to dip it in my bronzer, and all I'm going to do is run the bronzer along my eyelid. Not in any special way. I just tap, 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 get a little bit, shake off the excess, and just pop it on the eyelid. It's a really big brush, so you should only have to do it about 2 times, and it covers your eyelid. Because we're not going for an eyeshadow look, we're creating some dimension on our eyelid. So grab a nice soft bronzer. There. Okay. Next, it's time to address the face. So with your face, this is where the precision comes in. If you have any type of discoloration, you want to color correct first. That's going to be your first step. I'm going to use some orange corrector around my mouth because I have discoloration around my mouth. And I have a few dark spots here on my cheek. Okay. Now, once I've gotten my color corrector on, I'm then going to grab that same M335 brush, and I'm just going to blend out where I put that orange corrector. You can also do this with your hand. And what this does is neutralizes the dark spots that you have on your face. And again, you don't have to use a lot. And then I also like to add a little bit under my eyes. Just a couple of lines. Ooh, a couple of lines under the eye. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're color correcting again under the eye. Keeping that orange concentrated under the eye. Okay. Now we've neutralized any dark areas that we have on our face. Now, I'm going to grab that same concealer that we used. Excuse me. We're going to grab that same concealer that we used on our eyebrows to clean them up. We're going to use that and put that on top of where we put the orange concealer. So grab that Morphe M167 brush, grab your concealer, and gonna pop that on top of where we put the orange concealer. And again, what we're doing is neutralizing our face so that we don't have to put on a ton of foundation. Because the objective also with the no makeup look and the neutral glam is for it to look very skin-like and very skin-toned. It's supposed to look like you're not wearing anything. Now I'm grabbing my Morphe M6 brush, and I'm just going to buff out where I put that concealer on top of the orange corrector. Just buffing it out. And again, we have neutralized the face. So it should be looking very flat, very neutral, no discoloration anywhere. Very flat, very neutral. All right. So once we've done that, now it's time to actually apply foundation. Whatever your preferred foundation is, go for it. I currently am using the Mented Cosmetics Skin by Mented Stick Foundation. I'm in the shade T30, and I also sometimes dabble in T20, just depending on my mood. So I'm actually going to mix T30 and T20, but I could probably get away with just using T30. So I'm going to make a couple of lines on my cheek, 2 or 3 lines, and then I'm going to grab my T20, which is a little lighter, and I'm going to mix that in, put a couple of lines of that also. If you are a person who is multi-complected, then you want to put your darker foundation on the edges of your face and your lighter foundation towards the center part of your face. Now, before I blend out my foundation, I'm going to use setting spray, and I'm going to spray my face. And then I'm going to mix in my foundation, mix and blend my foundation. The reason I'm doing this is it helps your foundation to stay in place, and it also helps the foundation to melt into your skin and look very skin-like, because again, that is our objective. So we are buffing in those 2 foundation colors into our face. You don't have to focus much under the eye because we are going to put concealer there. The main thing is make sure it's blended. I always go a little past my ear because I have short hair. I go a little past my ear and make sure that I am blended properly. Then you want to touch on the forehead. Don't mess up our good brows, so be careful around the brows. Make sure we blend it really good. Okay. So when you're dealing with a no makeup look, your blending is going to be very important because, again, the objective is to look like this is how your face normally looks. But if you're putting on too much and it's not properly blended, it doesn't look like your skin. Okay, so I'm going to take a little extra time, make sure I go along my hairline, and make sure that everything is blended to perfection and there's no harsh lines anywhere. Okay, so we got our foundation on. I like to go on the corners of my nose because of my nose shape. Okay, so we got our foundation on. Now we're going to go back in with that neutral concealer And we're going to conceal under the eyes first. We're concealing. We're not highlighting yet. So you're going to get that concealer that is the same skin tone, and you're going to put some under the eye. And this again takes away from any additional discoloration that you may have under the eyes. And again, it makes your face look more precise and makes your skin look more flawless. And we're just going to pop some right under the eye here. And I also like to put it right here along the sides of my mouth. This is a personal preference for me because I do have discoloration around my mouth. So I always like the added coverage because it looks better when I put on lipstick. I'm going to grab that same brush and just buff out that additional concealer that we put under the eye. Gonna buff it out again. Okay, and now we're going to grab our highlighting concealer, which is a few shades lighter than our normal skin tone. And I'm going to concentrate that just right under my eye. I'm not going to pull it too low. Probably, I wouldn't go past the nose, the nostrils, I guess. So I keep it concentrated there. Make a very small triangle. Same thing on the other side. Keep it very concentrated. Right under the eye. Okay. I put a little bit on the top of where my Cupid's bow is. And a little bit in the forehead area. So a small amount here on the forehead. And X star dot on the chin. Okay. And again, all this highlighting concealer is doing is brightening up your face. So again, making it look more just soft glam, neutral glam. I usually let this sit for a few minutes, but I'm also going to spray another thing of setting spray. And I'm spraying it very lightly, just covering the face. And now I'm going to go in with that same Morphe M6 foundation brush, and I'm going to buff out the highlighting concealer. And we're just going to focus it on the center of the forehead. Make sure there's no harsh edges. I can drag it down my nose. I'm not going to contour my nose because that's not something I normally do. And I'm just buffing it right here along where I placed it. Back and forward, small taps. Same thing on the chin. Keeping the concealer concentrated in the area that I put it in. And then for my eye, I start on the edge and I just tap and I spread it just a little bit down, but it blends out the edges. And right now your objective is to focus on the edges of where you put that concealer. Okay, so I'm buffing along my nose and I'll just kind of go over the whole thing very lightly to catch the edges under the eye. Same thing over here. Start on the edge. Go along the nose. Tap, 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 tapping. And then you're going to go under the eye, tapping ever so gently. Okay. So again, we got a nice face going, still very neutral. Just looks like I have really great skin. really great skin. Okay, now it's time to add our powders. And that powder is gonna set all of the liquids and the creams that we've put on our face. So we're gonna first set our under eyes, and we're gonna use this Morphe M536 brush, which is just a small powder brush. And I'm gonna grab some of my Fenty powder, and this is in the shade Cashew. And I'm gonna tap and get my powder, tap off my excess, and I'm gonna place it under my eye where I put the concealer. And I'm pushing it into my skin. I'm pushing it in. Not necessarily baking, just pushing it in to blend in and soak up that cream that we put under the eye. So we're pushing that in. Same thing on the chin, pushing it in. On the forehead, we're pushing it in, just where we put that concealer. Okay, you can go back in again for a second time and do the same thing. And just push it in. Same thing on the Cupid's bow. Same thing on your chin. Same thing on the forehead. Okay. Now, tap, tap, tapping, making sure it's on there good. And now we're going to set the rest of the face. And we're going to grab, I use the Mented powder. This is in medium deep, the loose setting powder from Mented. And I'm going to grab some of that. It's more skin tone. And it's going to go along the rest of my face. And I'm going to grab my Morphe Y1 brush. And this is a fluffier, bigger powder brush. And I tap and I get some, tap off the excess, and I put this powder everywhere I didn't put the other powder. So along the edges of my face. I put it there. Along my chin. Around the forehead. And I put it on my nose. If you're a person that likes to highlight or contour your nose, you can feel free to skip that part, but I don't like to necessarily contour my nose. So right now, again, looking real, skin's looking great, but now we're looking kind of powdery. So keep that in mind. You want to put the powder on, make sure you got your powder where it needs to be. And then what we're going to do now is going to add a little bit of soft bronzer to the face. And we're using a different bronzer than the one we put on our eye. And then we are going to, hold on, my eye is running, which is no bueno. Okay, so then we're just going to add a little bit of warmth back to the face. Not a whole lot because, again, we're going for neutral. So it's supposed to just look like we have this really great face, this really chiseled skin, you know, chiseled chin, chiseled cheekbones, but not a full contour. So now we're going to grab, this brush is a Morphe M106 and it's just an angled brush. This is also the lip bar. It's a little darker and it's double date and the bronzer is called Booed Up. And I'm going to tap in and get some of the bronzer, shake off the rest. And I'm just going to go along the edges of my face to give myself a little bit of warmth. I'm not contouring. I'm just adding a little bit of warmth back into my face. And then you can go under your chin to also help with the chiseling of the face. Okay. So just a little bit of bronzer. I literally tapped in one time. And there's another bronzer I like if you don't have the lip bar bronzers. There is Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palettes. This is the second one, which is medium to dark. And it's basically that same color inside there. So you can also grab that. You could grab that same color and do the exact same thing. If you don't have the other one, this one works just fine. I'm just popping a little bit on so you can see that it's pretty much the same color. Again, you want to make sure you're in your hairline, if you're doing any type of bronzing or anything of that nature. So again, we just look like we got really great skin. Now, to take away from the powderiness, we want to then spray our face one last time. And so we grab our setting spray again, and I'm using the Beauty Bakerie setting spray, baking spray. It's called Sweet Grace Makeup Setting Mist. So spray. This time you can spray a lot extra. And if you have either a beauty sponge or a really big fluffy brush, this is an e.l.f. brush, e.l.f. 101, and you take that and you're gonna press on your skin all over your face to make sure there's no powderiness. And this also, if you see on this brush, it's literally just a little bit of stuff where I do this all the time with my regular routine, and I do this to pick up any excess product. Okay? And all you're doing is just tapping and getting the excess product off. And now you're back to looking like skin. So this is basically like neutral glam. Now you can pop on a lip. I would suggest if you're doing neutral glam, you can pop on some lip gloss. You can pop on some lashes or some mascara. But this is the basics. And this is the base of that neutral no makeup look. So for example, if I want to pop on some mascara, I can do that. You can also, like I said, grab your favorite pair of princess lashes. Grab your favorite pair of princess lashes and pop on you some lashes. If you want to wear gloss, you can pop on some gloss. And we did this in under 30 minutes. So the only other part you would have to do is, like I said, put on your lip, put on your lashes, or put on your mascara, and your face is done. And you got that neutral look. Looks like, oh, she has really good skin. That's all it looks like. So now you know how to do your neutral glam, no makeup look. Okay?